Okay, what is up there, YouTube? This is J-Man Time, and today I have a video on 9 rare weapons I would like to see in the upcoming Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition. Rockstar Games has announced recently that they are planning to release a remastered version of the first 3 Grand Theft Auto games, GTA 3, GTA Vice City, and GTA San Andreas. These remasters will have updated graphics, combat physics, and maybe even some new weapons. If new weapons are in the game, I do hope they include many of the weapons that were seen in the ammunition gun store. I do hope they include many of the unused weapons, unused firearm assets from Vice City and San Andreas. If you ever visit the ammunition gun store, you will notice that there were tons of weapon models and some 2D textures of firearms that appear in Vice City and San Andreas, but you could not purchase these weapons in the game. And the only way to access some of these guns were through mods or modifications of the game. So here are 9 weapons that appear in ammunition gun store in GTA Vice City and San Andreas that I hope will appear in the remastered edition of these games as usable firearms or purchasable firearms in GTA Vice City and San Andreas. The first gun on the list is the Calico M950. The Calico M950 is a semi-automatic, or in some cases select fire bullpup pistol carbine from 1985. It came in 2 calibers, either 9x19mm parabellum or .22 long rifle. It was fed by a 50 to 100 round helical drum magazine and had a rate of fire of at least 850 rounds per minute in the full auto variant. Now this gun appears on the wall of the ammunition in both GTA Vice City and GTA San Andreas. Now if this weapon was in the game, you would have a semi-automatic or select fire bullpup pistol carbine as a pistol type weapon in the game. So it would be cool if Rockstar Games would add the Calico M950. There's also the Calico M110, which was the 22 caliber version of the same gun, but slightly smaller. Another pistol carbine type weapon that appears in both GTA Vice City and San Andreas is the Charter Arms AR-7 Explorer. The AR-7 Explorer was a semi-automatic pistol carbine from 1973. It appears in both GTA Vice City and GTA San Andreas as an unbuyable weapon in the various ammunition gun stores throughout those games. The weapon was chambered for the .22 long rifle and was fed by either an 8, 10, 15, or 25 round box magazine, and the variant that appears in Vice City and San Andreas appears to have either a night vision scope or a long-range scope-like attachment. This would be an alternative to your standard pistol, a pistol carbine that is both a semi-automatic pistol carbine and also a suppressed sniper-like weapon system. Another weapon that appeared in the gun store only in Vice City was the Grendel Srt. The SRT was a bolt-action hunting carbine from 1986. It is chambered for the 7.62 by 51mm NATO cartridge and was fed by a 10-round detachable box magazine. The version seen in Vice City only appears as an unusable gun texture in the ammunition gun store. So it would be cool if this gun appeared in the game as a purchasable firearm in the remastered version of GTA Vice City. It would be the first non-scoped bolt-action rifle or non-marksman bolt-action rifle to appear in the game, and it would be cool to use in the multiplayer, as I heard there is a multiplayer component to these remasters of these 3 old GTA games. Another weapon I would like to see in the games is the Thompson M1928, M1921, or the World War II vintage M1A1. The Thompson submachine gun also appears in both Vice City and San Andreas as an unpurchasable gun and ammunition. The Thompson was chambered for a .45 ACP cartridge and was fed by either a 20 to 30 round magazine or a 50 to 100 round drum magazines, and had a rate of fire of 850 to 1000 rounds per minute. All 3 variants of these guns appear as unbuyable textures in the various ammunition gun stores in GTA Vice City and in San Andreas. So it would be cool to have a .45 caliber World War II vintage weapon in the game. They could add the Tommy gun as a Easter egg weapon or a secret weapon very similar to the M60 light machine gun seen in both Vice City and San Andreas, or the Gatling gun, which are guns that you could not purchase from most of the ammunition gun stores in the old versions of GTA Vice City and San Andreas. So imagine if the Tommy gun was in the game as a secret weapon or an Easter egg weapon. Another weapon I would like to see in the game is a weapon that appears in the game files, and that is the M14. The original M14 is a select fire battle rifle chambered in the 7.62 by 51mm NATO cartridge and was fed by a 20-round box magazine and had a rate of fire of 750 rounds per minute. Now the gun actually appears in GTA Vice City as an unusable gun texture or a unpurchasable weapon in the ammunition gun stores in GTA Vice City. Now the carbine version, or the scaled down version known in the game as the Kruger, which in real life was the Ruger Mini 14, is a usable weapon in the game. The difference being is the Kruger or the Mini 14 was chambered for the 5.56 NATO cartridge, while the M14 is chambered for the 7.62 cartridge. So if the M14 was in GTA Vice City, it would be way more powerful than the fully automatic Ruger Mini 14. So the M14 would be like a semi-automatic rifle or a fully automatic select fire battle rifle, and would be more powerful than the standard Kruger rifle. So you would have the Kruger as your assault rifle type weapon, and you would have the M14 as like a battle rifle, either a semi-automatic or a select fire battle rifle. Now in the game, you have both the M14 and you have the civilian version known as the Springfield Armory Model M1A1, which was the semi-automatic civilian version of the weapon. And they both appear in the ammunition gun stores in GTA Vice City. So it would be cool if either the M14 or the Springfield Armory M1A1 were to appear in the game as an alternative to the Mini 14, a more powerful alternative to the Mini 14 rifle. The next weapon I would like to see in the game is the Steyr AUG, also known as the Sturmgewehr 77, and this weapon actually appears as an unusable gun texture in both GTA Vice City and San Andreas. It is a scoped assault rifle chambered in the 5.56 by 45mm NATO cartridge and is fed by a 30-round magazine or 42-round extended magazine and has a rate of fire of 680 to 850 rounds per minute. This gun again appears in the game files as an unusable texture or an unpurchasable gun in Vice City and San Andreas, but it would be cool if this gun were an actual weapon you could buy or unlock at the ammunition in the remaster of Vice City and San Andreas. So it would be like a cross between an assault rifle and a sniper rifle. Like an assault rifle you could free aim in the game, but you can also use it as a sniper weapon. And that would be cool, especially if there is an online multiplayer mode. It would also make missions a lot easier in the games. The next gun I would like to see in the remastered versions of these games, or at least San Andreas, is the German-made Heckler & Koch G3. The G3 is a semi-automatic, or in some cases select fire battle rifle from 1958. It is chambered for the 7.62 by 51mm NATO cartridge and was fed by a 20-round box magazine. Its rate of fire is 500 to 600 rounds per minute, and it appears in GTA San Andreas as an unbuyable weapon at ammunition. So if it were to appear as a usable gun in the remaster, it would be the most powerful assault rifle / battle rifle in the game. As it is chambered for the 7.62mm cartridge, it is more powerful than the AK and the Colt Commando carbine, assault carbine, that appears in the game GTA San Andreas. So it would be cool to have the G3 either as a buyable weapon or an unlockable weapon in the remaster of GTA San Andreas. And then there is the Israeli Galileo Ar. The Galileo Ar and the 7.62mm variant both appear in GTA Vice City and in GTA San Andreas as unbuyable assault rifles at ammunition. These weapons were designed in 1972, and they are chambered for the 5.56 by 45mm NATO cartridge or the 7.62 by 51mm NATO cartridge, which is the heavier version. It also is fed by a 25 to 35 round box magazine, and it had a rate of fire of between 650 and 750 rounds per minute. Both guns appear as unusable weapons in ammunition in both Vice City and San Andreas, and it would be cool if these guns appeared in the remasters of those games. And then there is the final weapon on the list, and the weapon I kind of want to see the most, and it is the French Famas. The Famas is a French select-fire bull pump assault rifle from 1978. It is also chambered for the 5.56 by 45mm NATO cartridge, fed by a 30-round box magazine, and has a rate of fire of 700 to 1,150 rounds per minute. The weapon appears as an unviable weapon in both GTA Vice City and GTA San Andreas, so it would be cool if this weapon was a buyable weapon, or at least an unlockable weapon in either Vice City or San Andreas. Now, the Famas is both an assault rifle, but can be modified into a marksman rifle with a scope, and if it were to be included in GTA Vice City or San Andreas, it would be the fastest assault rifle in the game. These are the weapons I would hope to see in the game. These are the weapons I would hope to see in the remastered versions of GTA Vice City and San Andreas. The reason I didn't include GTA 3 is because there are gun textures in GTA 3, but they are so badly pixelated that you honestly can't tell what you're seeing in the images. So I couldn't find any weapons in the game files for GTA 3. So what do you all think of this? Please tell me in the comment section below. And until next time, this was J-Man Time signing off.